Hey everyone, my name is Talon. Welcome to my channel. Today is going to be an interesting video, something that I've been wanting to do for a little while now, and it's going to be an update on a big switch that I made, and that's going to be the switch that I made for T-Mobile Home Internet. I've had it for about 2 months now. It's getting pretty close to the 2-month mark, and I know I did a review already about this, and I was very positive about it, but after having it for a couple extra months, I have some more comments to make on it. And I don't want to just have my old review that was mostly just praise and positivity about it. I want people to know the full experience of having this service long term. That way they know what they're expecting and everything. So it's just gonna be a quick update on my home internet service. I'm gonna put that down. Actually, before I do that, one of my biggest gripes that I've had about this service since I've had it is this gateway right here. As a gateway, it works fine. It connects to the towers perfectly fine. Not quite as good as my phone. My phone always says it gets better reception than this thing for some reason. I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi antennas in here as well. Maybe it's all just disrupting the RF of reaching the towers to get the best signal possible. But I'm not exactly sure what's going on, why my phone's getting better service. But the router in it, if you've seen my speed test video, comparing Cox internet versus T-Mobile internet and everything, you might have noticed that I did a comparison of the router that's built into it, and I did a comparison next to it and in a basement just further away from it. And as a router, it's not the greatest thing. It only has 2 RJ45 ports on the back, so you can only connect two devices to it, and it's just not very strong. If you have devices that's in a basement or just a couple extra floors, in any direction, it doesn't have to be your basement, your connection's going to be hurt quite a bit. If I go down to my basement, I lose about 50% of my download speed, and that's just outrageous to me. It's a Wi-Fi 6 router. I don't understand why it has such a hard problem just reaching a little bit further and with a little bit stronger of a signal. And that's regardless of it's 5 gigahertz, 2.4 gigahertz, or anything like that. I don't know. It's an interesting quirk about it. And I have tried connecting routers to it. I've disabled the built-in router and the Wi-Fi in the T-Mobile Home Internet gateway. But for some reason, anytime that I connect another router to it, I don't know what's going on with it. It tanks my performance completely. I could be getting 200 megabits per second down, and then I just connect another router to it, and it goes down to like 5. And I don't understand the reasoning why this happens. I've gone through the settings, and that's something else that I want to talk about is just the overall settings, advanced features, and everything with the service. If most people are probably just going to do everything in their T-Mobile Home Internet app, but there's not a lot of advanced features in there. In fact, you can't even set separate SSIDs for 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz in the app itself. You have to go to the web page for it, and I'm just gonna put a link, not a link but a reference somewhere on the video of the IP address. Just type that into your favorite browser, Google Chrome, whatever. Just type that into your browser. It'll take you to the web page for it, and it's going to unlock a lot more features than if you were just using it in the app. You can change your SSIDs, you can change the output power, you can set different amount, like your maximum channels. You can see what towers it's connecting, what bands it's connecting to. There's a lot in there. You can do factory resets and everything. So that's something that I wish that T-Mobile kind of expressed a little bit more, is that they don't really tell you that web page exists. You have to kind of Google it and find it online just to find out that they have the web page that you're able to use instead of just using the app all the time. So if you're having any problems, just go in there, check out some of the advanced features, figure out some things for yourself. My other biggest gripe with this, I also did a whole video about the gaming performance of it and everything, but it's very inconsistent. I found out over the last couple of months. It was very inconsistent. So at first it was very playable. Everything I played, I got pretty playable latency for it. But just like about a week ago, the Battlefield 2042 beta was out, and I wanted to play as much of that as possible. But when I first started playing it, I know it was a beta, so of course there's server issues and everything. But the same thing happened if I'd be playing Halo or Call of Duty and stuff like that. I was experiencing a lot more latency than I had at the beginning, and it was very strange that was occurring to me, and it was completely unplayable. For the Battlefield 2042 beta, for example, I was playing that and it hit 200 milliseconds, and in an online shooter like that, it's unplayable. You can't play at that high of ping whatsoever. Even like a little bit above 100 milliseconds, it becomes not a very fun experience. You do want less than 100 milliseconds pretty much all the time when it comes to gaming. And at first I got that pretty consistently, but over the months, I don't know if it's because of congestion or what, but it caused some issues. And I actually want to kind of have a bright light at the end of the tunnel. There's some methods to actually improve your latency, because a lot of the reason why the latency occurs, I found out, is actually just the way that certain hardware and operating systems handle using a 5G network anyways. So like Windows, for example, it has a very hard time. It prioritizes your IP traffic very weirdly when it comes to a 5G networking. So there's actually ways to improve it. I'm going to probably have another video, because I'm still testing it right now, because I've gotten good results and I've gotten some mixed results, but I think I found some pretty good methods to improve your latency in games and just in general. And I've actually improved my speeds a little bit too by doing one of these methods. So look out for that video. I'm still doing testing, like I said. I just want to make sure it's actually viable. I don't want to just like throw it out there and it turns out that it sucks. So still doing testing on that, but gaming performance has been kind of hit or miss for me, and it's been really sad, honestly. But now it's kind of a good point. So T-Mobile has been expanding their home internet. I'm going to probably show an article that they're expanding in certain areas, and they've been expanding their home internet service throughout the United States, and it's actually pretty awesome. They're getting a lot more customers. They're getting a lot more good feedback and everything from the service, and that means that the service is going to constantly keep improving. It's a good price. It's going to keep getting updates. Since the time that I've had the service, I have gotten 2 firmware updates for the gateway, and they've significantly improved performance. The first one significantly helped me if I'm using a VPN. If you like a couple months ago, if you used a VPN, there was like no performance. The download and upload speeds was like absolutely nothing, just because you turned on a VPN. But after one firmware update, that VPN service became usable, and then I got another firmware update that drastically gave me more consistent speeds. Before, at the very beginning, since I had the service, there'd be days where I'd have like 200 megabits per second download, and then some days it would go down to like 10, and I couldn't figure out why. I would have to hard reset the gateway. I would have to I'd have to figure it out. Some days it just would never improve, no matter how many times I reset it or tried changing settings. It was very odd to me. But after a firmware update, I don't know how or why, but it's just locked onto its signal better. I have a consistent 3 to 4 bars, and my download and upload speeds have stayed consistent. No matter what, I've never gotten below 100 megabits per second for the last couple of weeks after that firmware update. Some days it's still higher, like in the 200 to closer to 300 sometimes megabits per second, but consistently I'd say about 90% of the time I get around 150 megabits per second, and it's never dropped below 100 megabits per second since I've gotten that firmware update. So awesome job, T-Mobile. Keep pushing out these firmware updates. They're actually improving the service a lot, and I'm just glad to see that they actually care and they're taking the feedback from the customers. They're expanding and they're upgrading their service constantly. So that makes me really happy to know that they're going to try and look out for us long term. And there's some people that's had the service for a very, very long time that have the old LTE gateways, and T-Mobile's upgrading them to the new gateways absolutely free. So that's honestly great to hear. That gives me a lot of confidence just to know that they do want customers to stick around and they're going to take care of you. They'll probably upgrade your hardware as new versions of it come out and everything. They want you to have the best possible experience that you can have, and that makes me feel really good. And yeah, that's gonna mainly be it. I don't really have any other comments to make on this. It's been months since I've had it. I've gotten a lot of feedback on some of the videos that I made. I'm really happy to see people leaving comments and I can interact with everyone. People have a lot of questions. Even people I've noticed some comments of people locally and everything, and they wanted help just to know if they have good service. The best way to know that if you are compatible to have this service, one, you actually have to be in their service area. So go to their website, type in your address, and they'll tell you if it's available in your area. But if you want to know what your possibilities with it is, T-Mobile has an entire map that all you have to do is type in your address, and it tells you what type of service that you get in your area. It tells you if you're only LTE, tells you if you get 5G, tells you get their 5G ultra capacity, which that's what you want for your home internet. That's going to give you lower latency. That's going to give you higher speeds. The ultra capacity, it has lower, it offers lower distances, but the overall connection that you get if you're in that service area is much better. So check out their map. I'm probably gonna do a video just to show people how to go about searching for it and everything, but I'll probably leave a link in the comment as well, in the description I mean, as well. That way people can look at it now and maybe start searching and everything to see if it's a good fit for them. But that's pretty much it. Short of everything, the speeds were very inconsistent. Gaming sucked for a little while, but it seems like the service is improving. They're coming out with firmware updates. They're expanding the locations that they have the service available for people, and I'm just glad to see that the service is improving. Like I said, I have my bad comments about it, but it is getting better, and that's all I really care about, because in my area I don't have any other good competitors, so I'm kind of stuck with it, unless I want to be paying over twice as much just for a competing offer from a local company, and it's not worth it. But if it's improving, and if some of my issues like the gaming performance, if that's a short-term issue for a couple of months, then I'm perfectly okay with that. And in the meantime, I found some other ways to improve that anyways. So with all that said, thank you guys. Have a good one. I hope that these videos are helpful for someone out there. I hope that it's informative for people. If it is helpful, subscribe, like, leave comments, please. I love talking to people. I love answering questions. I like people answering my questions. I just like the interaction from everyone. So thanks again, and have a great one.